Good evening, and thank you all for coming tonight to support Rabin Medical Center, a cause that's dear to my heart. It's my privilege tonight to honor and introduce someone who needs no introduction, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Dr. Fauci is the director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease at the U.S. National Institutes of Health. With over 5 decades of service, it would be impossible for me to list all of Dr. Fauci's many accomplishments in the field. So I'm going to attempt to summarize this long, distinguished career. First, Dr. Fauci is a clinical scientist. He spent his life at the forefront of the fight against infectious diseases, conducting groundbreaking research and developing innovative therapies that are now routine. Second, he has led once a small government agency with a modest budget of just several $100 million into one of the most important and prolific public health agencies in the world, with an annual budget of over $6 billion. Third, he's been a trusted advisor to 7 U.S. presidents. In his work with President George W. Bush, he helped craft the most successful public health program in the history with the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief, saving tens of millions of lives. And of course, most recently, Dr. Fauci led our country through our battle with COVID-19. Over the past 2 years, we faced an enemy that did not rest. But thankfully, we had someone in Dr. Fauci who was just as tireless and relentless in finding a way for us to help overcome this destructive virus. Dr. Fauci said had become one of the most cited phrases over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, COVID-19 had literally gutted New York City, taking lives, livelihoods, and the heart and soul of what makes our city thrive. It felt like our great city was a shell of itself. But thanks to the leadership of people like Dr. Fauci, New York City is back. You can see it on our streets, you see it in our parks, our restaurants and buildings, and you can see it here tonight with all of us coming together as a group to celebrate this great institution. Dr. Fauci, your leadership helped us to learn to safely coexist with the virus and find a path to the new normal through the extraordinary development of highly effective vaccines and therapeutics. Thank you for all that you've done for New York City, for our country, and for the world. And for now, it's my honor to present Dr. Fauci with the Yitzhak Rabin Lifetime Medical Leadership Award for his incredible career in public health. So the plaque reads, from the American Friends of Rabin Medical Center presents a Yitzhak Rabin Lifetime Medical Leadership Award to Dr. Anthony Fauci, brilliant physician, scientist, immunologist, and researcher. Thank you for over 50 years of exceptional public health service as Chief Medical Advisor to 7 presidents of the United States. Thank you for your service to our nation and all of humanity. Thank you, Dr.
Fauci. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for that kind introduction and warm greetings to everyone. I'm really so delighted to be back here in the city of my birth. I went to high school about 25 blocks from here at Regis High School, and it's just a lot of fun to be back in the city that I love so much. And I'm also delighted to be with so many distinguished guests, some familiar faces, but also some new acquaintances here tonight. I have to tell you quite sincerely that I am truly humbled and grateful to receive the Yitzhak Rabin Lifetime Medical Leadership Award, a homage to, in my mind, one of the most iconic figures in the history of Israel, if not the world, and my deepest thanks to the American Friends of Rabin Medical Center for this profound honor. Now, I myself and many other Americans of my generation considered Yitzhak Rabin not only an Israeli hero, but a hero who transcends national boundaries. I remember as a young man following the career of this most extraordinary individual. I greatly admired him as a visionary and a principled leader. He was meticulously strategic, yet unafraid to be bold. He was genuine and respectful. He was honest, and he believed in peaceful coexistence. And this actually is the critical issue that struck a chord with me and prompted me, among other things and other reasons, to come to New York to accept this award. And let me explain what I mean. Peaceful coexistence. When I reflect on the qualities of this man, and in the context of our current environment, I'm somewhat dismayed. Because if Rabin were alive today, I believe he would be very disturbed at what is happening around the world, and certainly by what is happening here in America. I'm referring to the rejection of scientific facts and the normalization and quiet acquiescence of untruths, and how the normalization of untruths throughout the world, but sadly, right here in the United States, is fueling a dangerous divisiveness that increasingly threatens the foundation of our democratic society. Now, our country is nearing a third year contending with the transformational COVID-19 pandemic, a pandemic that has already killed 1 million Americans, many in this city that I love, and many, many more millions of people around the world. As a public health official involved in helping to lead our response, I have always endeavored, come what may, to tell the truth based on the evidence and data as it unfolded. Because of this adherence to science and the truth, unfortunately, I and many of my public health colleagues have become the targets of those who, often for their own gain, propagate lies and disinformation about the pandemic, leading others to threaten our lives and harass our families. Tragically, the COVID-19 pandemic narrative has unfortunately become politicized to the point of seriously undermining the public health response. People have lost sight of the fact that the common enemy is not each other, it's the virus. Different viewpoints in society and ideological differences should be actually nurtured and encouraged, because America's diverse population and diverse ideas historically have made us a healthy, stronger, and more innovative society. And so, in the spirit of Isaac Rabin, we must find common purpose amid our genuine differences and help mend rather than tear the fabric of our society, so that in the future, democracy will prevail. So in this vein, I want to move on to a positive note. As you all well know, the Rabin Medical Center in Israel is the country's largest medical institution and a true leader in performing innovative technological research and conducting clinical trials. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Israel's medical research capacity and efficient health monitoring programs have been critical in the global fight against SARS-CoV-2. Our first glimpse at real-world data about the effectiveness of the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines often came from telephone calls that I had with my Israeli colleagues about the effectiveness of these vaccines that was generously shared with us by our Israeli scientists as really an expression of extraordinary collegiality and goodwill. And as a result of that, our public health officials and our colleagues in Israel have become very close friends, and we owe them a lot. And I'm saying that not just because I'm here at this dinner, but because it's the truth. I have been at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, as you heard, at NIH for 54 years, and I've been its director for 38 years. I joke, I came when I was 11 years old, but that's soon after assuming the position of director in 1984, I initiated what is now a multi-decade history of research collaboration with institutions in Israel. Our current collaborative projects focus on a variety of infectious diseases, including, among others, influenza, HIV/AIDS, hepatitis, and tuberculosis. Recently, our scientists have been working with colleagues in Israel to identify potential collaborative research focused on pandemic preparedness. And my colleagues and I look forward to continuing these efforts and to strengthening our partnership with our valued Israeli scientific colleagues in the hope that together we will be in a more ready alert position for the inevitable next emerging pathogen. And I'm sure Rabin would have been very happy with that. So thank you again for this wonderful honor.